Right, let's get back to this Kurt Vise refurb. It's time to check squareness of the jaws to the rails. Rails are nicely parallel to the base and nicely level and cleaned up. So what we got? We got a cylinder square and we've got a flashlight. So this is going to be a crude test of the perpendicularity of the new Vise jaw. This is a Vise jaw that was given to me by Jim of Jim's workshop, because the original one that came with it, well, the original pair of jaws that came with this were trashed, and Jim gave me some new old stock jaws that he had and didn't need. So the best way to check this would be with a comparator. This is my comparator. It's not ready yet. It's a piece of precision ground flat steel and a piece of TG&P, and they need some features added before they will be a comparator. So I'm going to do something simpler. I'm going to do a check in which I shine a light down the jaw, and we'll just see how much light we get with the cylinder square. This is a brand new precision ground cylinder square. So I'm just going to push this up against this and shine a light and see how much light comes through. Not sure how this is going to work, but we'll give it a go. Alright, so the square is up against the... may have to move this about. Kind of want to be straight onto the... I think that's good. Okay, now push that up against there. I'll turn the flashlight on. Now there is a little bit of light shining through there. Not much. Now, light off. I'm not going to move the camera. I'm going to leave it set up. Move this away. And this is a 0.04 millimeter feeler gauge. Why am I doing this? So that is now 0.04 millimeters off of the face of this. Now, as you can see, that is dramatically different. So the point of that, the whole point of that exercise is to demonstrate that the face of this is probably as square as I can reasonably get it to these rails. And I can't get a measurement this way, but I think it's fair to say that this is well under 1/1000th of an inch square to that. In other words, good enough. I'm not going to screw around machining and scraping the jaw. Now for the same thing on the moving jaw. Right, similar thing. So I did give the underside of the moving jaw a little bit of a scrape. I did that off camera, just to get it running nicely on the rails, and it didn't take much. Now I've got it just pushed against, this is not clamped, the lead screw and everything is not installed, this is just all at rest. And I've got the flashlight behind here again, so now turn the flashlight on. Okay, and again you'll see there is a little bit of light. It's not much. Turn it off. Slide that away. 0.04mm feeler gauge. Pull that out. Flashlight on. And as you can see, lights up. So it's a very empirical test, but it says the jaws are not way off. They're not way slanted and way out of whack.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
So the point of showing how much light shines through the 1 thou or 0.04mm gap is just to show how bright that is as a comparison to what's shining through with no feeler gauge gap. And as a result, you can see that the light that is coming through is quite small, which basically means the jaws are very square to the bed rails. Can't put a number on it, but from what you can see, it's obviously much less than a thou out, and so plenty acceptable. Right, so the squareness using a light demonstration. This is my brand new Kurt Vise. Only had a couple of uses, and I've got the same setup going on. So turn the light on and we'll come around here. Just push that up against that. And I'm testing this against the fixed jaw. Don't even have a jaw plate on it. Now, as you can see, even on a brand new Kurt Vise, some light does come through. But certainly the old one that I'm refurbing is not as good as this. But I think it's good enough. Right, well, I did some serious cleaning yesterday, and I think I've got all the grease and grime off of these two items. Used a combination of WD-40 in my spray bottle here, oven cleaner and acetone, and I think we're in good shape. So what I'm going to do now is give it a wipe over with isopropyl alcohol, one final bit of a clean, and mask up some surfaces. And I didn't show any of the degreasing, and I'm not going to show the masking because that's boring. Well, it's a beautiful day out, and cool but not cold, low humidity, so perfect day for painting outside. And there we are. Now you can watch paint dry. Here we are. This is the moving jaw, and this is how I know it's a Kurt Vise, even though it doesn't have a serial number plate on it. There's the original stamp. Right, got everything painted up. This delightful shade of blue. I believe this is Rust-Oleum Deep Blue. I think that's what it's called. It's more blue than the Kurt Blue, and Rust-Oleum should really rename it Blue or something like that. It's the most blue I've ever seen. It's not the colour that Kurt Vises were originally, but anyone who refurbs one of these makes it blue, and who am I to go against the popular grain, whatever. Now, before we get to that, this is an excellent time to remind you that I have a Tangent Engineering burnishing tool up for grabs, and it's now time to find a home for it. So I just crossed over the 5,000 subscriber mark, and then a couple of people unsubscribed and I dropped below it, and then a couple more people subscribed, and now I'm above it again at 5,001. So thank you all very much. Thank you to new subscribers. I hope you enjoy what you found on the channel, and a special thank you to all subscribers who've been with me forever or whenever. It's very much appreciated. So if you would like to own this tool, all you need to do is write the word burnishing in a comment on this video, and in next week's or in the next video, can't promise it'll be next week, but in the next video I'll do a random drawing, and whoever gets picked will be the proud new owner of this tool. And it doesn't matter where in the world you are, I'll mail it to you free of charge. So so go ahead, go down to the comments and write the word burnishing along with whatever else you want to say, and we'll get this to you. But now it's time to get this rebuilt, and I have all the parts cleaned up, ready to go, and I have the ubiquitous Kurt D60 repair kit, which just consists of a thrust bearing and a new dome and a yellow plastic cover, which is for certain vices but not this one, and a snap ring which is for certain vices but not this one. So let's get to it. Right, the nut has this protective plate pressed in the end, which I didn't paint. There's the original Kurt colours, grey or green or grey-green or greeny-grey. And I've got a grease fitting to go in there. Lock collar has a little soft insert in it so as to not gall the threads up. No, very light. See, this is where having the camera is a huge distraction, because you're always trying to think of what's going on there. Now I'm in two minds as to whether to grease this up, because grease just picks up metal chips, but we'll do it and see how we go on. Ten points to those of you who realised I was turning the shaft the wrong way. That's the little recess where the button sits. Here's the new button. There we are. Now I did give the underside of this a very light scrape just to take the high spots off. I didn't film that because you've already seen enough novice scraping. So I just got that to sit better on the nice bedways and then cleaned it up. There, that's better. Now this set screw just stops, keeps that in line and stops that button coming out. About there, aren't we? Now this is the fixed jaw, and I did machine off a little bit from the underside of the bar here because I reduced the height of the rail, so I needed to account for that. Right, let's see if I can close it up. What would be ideal is if I can close it up totally at this point without the jaw plates in. Might not be able to, which won't be the end of the world. That's all the travel we got. So I'll clamp a couple of blocks in there because I want to come along and just skim the top of this, just take a couple of thou off, just make that parallel to the underside. Right, before I do that, I'll just pop the grease fitting in. Got this little grease fitting to go in the end plate to block the hole up and to allow us to squirt a bit of grease in there once in a while, although probably not essential. Right, well this might be seen as sacrilegious, I don't know really, but I'm just going to clean up the tops of these. I've got two setup blocks clamped in there to hold them firmly, and well, that's really all there is to it. Right, let's have a look at jaw lift. Okay, not clamped yet. I do have a block in both jaws, on both rails rather. Okay, lower this down. Tighten the jaw. Bugger all. Couple of tenths maybe. I'll take it. Not even that, it didn't move on the... No, there isn't any. And that's what Kurt Vises are famous for. Their much ripped off Anglock. Well, there it is. I don't think that came out too badly. Was a junky looking piece of crap, and now it's a somewhat true, square, decent tool ready to go. Got a lot more years of life left in it, so happy with how that went. Wasn't even very expensive to do, just took some elbow grease, really. Anyway, hope that was informative, useful, interesting, or whatever. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you got something out of it. Just a reminder, if you'd like to own that Tangent Jim burnishing tool, just put the word burnishing in the comments below and you'll go into the drawing for that. But otherwise, wherever you are in the world, stay safe and well. May your dimensions always be in tolerance and your surface finishes chatter free. Be seeing you.